Over the weekend, RFK Jr. published an opinion piece on Fox News' website. Very interestingly, the head and deck, the headline and subheader, looked really pro-vaccine, and so everyone's brains broke. And then you read the actual prose, and it's pretty cynical, if you ask me. There's a little bit more lip service about what I would call pro-vaccine, but it's done in this way that doesn't quite get there. How did you interpret all of that?
Exactly that way. I mean, the first couple paragraphs were largely reassuring. He talked about, for example, community immunity, that you need to have a high level of immunity because there are people who can't be vaccinated who need to be protected as part of the herd, essentially. He made a big point of that at the beginning, and I thought, great. But then as you read on, he says that, that it's a personal choice. In two separate sections, he said it was a personal choice. So which is it? I mean, you have an outbreak now, which is fatal. We had the first child death since 2003 in this country. So he's saying on the one hand, community immunity is important. Then on the other hand, he says, but it's your choice. It's your choice to catch and transmit a potentially fatal infection during an outbreak when one child has died. I thought that was pretty bad. And then he does his usual stuff about how we essentially eliminated, we had a dramatic reduction in deaths from measles because of sanitation and nutrition. And this is always it. It's always nutrition with him. And first of all, that's not true. While it is true that we had, in the early 1900s, you had as many as 6,000 or 7,000 deaths a year for measles. The big drop in measles deaths came in 1940s because we had something in the 1940s we didn't have before that, which is antibiotics. Yeah. And although antibiotics don't treat viral infections, they do treat bacterial superinfections, which are occasionally a consequence of measles virus infections. Measles is immune suppressive. So that was that. And then he talked about, he said the best defense against chronic disease and infections is good nutrition. While it is important to have good nutrition, although I'm the last person to talk about that since I love Slim Jims, but in any case, it's important to have good nutrition. There's only two ways to develop specific immunity, and that's vaccination and natural infection. That's the only way to get specific immunity, and vaccination is always the better choice. So always he goes back to sort of nutrition and things were better with better nutrition, and just it's depressing.